Like you and Andrea.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. They haven't thought.
Okay. Can you help me with that down there?
I brought my game to them.
Whose car is this? Felix? I didn't think Nick had a Tesla.
What?
I didn't think Nick had a Tesla.
Yeah, I remember because we were looking at a Tesla and we were seeing if he was going to the Dairy Queen or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it ended up knocking him back.
Well, this fire is going to kill me.
You want me to ask the owner? Because I think I know where the mechanical room key is, and so he might tell me what that is.
I bet you he will.
You can see because I'd rather just go pick up the piece.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
in a four-wheel drive truck. Absolutely.
Can we ask
And-
somebody to tell them we're going live?
Hey, Sparky,
Somebody
we can set up
to
like an audience.
Sparky Sean. He drove me.
my brain.
Oh, okay. We can.
I'm
My brain.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, no, that's fine. But
To ask them
audience
to
wise,
kill their Wi-Fi
because
for a
jury
minute.
will be here.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be here. Or you know what? They all watch them without me. They watch them there. That's the best view, really.
Hey, Nick. It's me. Can you ask me to go off Wi-Fi for a little bit?
It did.
Thanks.
I was also. Are we done with the player? Hey, Justin.
Thank you, Nick.
Wait. Does yes go by Starlink? So we have internet. And they go to What are you listening to? This is White Lotus season 2. That's well, this is part of the soundtrack, not like. Are we lighting?
Go out.
Can I get a chair here? Just because I don't want to sit next to the fire.
One right up.
Die.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, so the fire is.
It's just hot.
Ah,
I'm
you can get
already
a chair there.
so sweaty.
Right.
It does not matter. Also, I realized that I have not showered since yesterday morning.
I hadn't showered.
Here it is. Now it shows me a twice. Why?
Like if you're walking around a big warehouse, Wi-Fi might not extend that far. So what do? And your Wi-Fi.
I just cannot breathe.
Oh, because you're streaming.
Streaming, so as long as I don't breathe.
Don't move.
Can someone alert the Discord that we're going live for the 11th title over, please?
I did.
Okay.
Thank you. The Wi-Fi's gone. I'm not even on.
Yeah.
Garrett did it. I did. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's the story. That's why the campfire. Nope, you're gonna hear it for the first time. No, because we have a lot to set up. You and I are staying here because you're gonna film this part, and then Gary, Paul, Nick, Justin, and Joe are going to be in 5 different stations all over camp. You and I will be here, and we got to set up the tables and all that shit. All right.
Oh, that one. Oh, there we go.
All right. And now we will bring in the members of our jury.
That's
Please do not take that.
the chair and the microphone.
There.
4 pops. I think Paul gave them a limit.
Change the shirts.
Skip to that one.
There we go.
I gotta think. Well, hold on. Let me hear this person. Oh, never mind.
Mm-hmm. There's my cup. Couldn't find my cup, so I went and got water. I forgot I left it right here.
This is tough. I don't even have to know. I don't even have to look.
Yep.
This is tough. It's tough. I was never getting out of that hot tub. I did love this song. This was a really nice touch.
My favorite. I knew.
You can't cut it before the world.
DuckTales.
Woo!
I don't know. I thought he was out there watching. It might be with Nick helping him, and he'll come up with it. Long way to go.
I have food and drink. Garrett, this isn't turning on. Can you check this?
And the newest member of our jury, Jay. Voted out at the last tribal council.
Trying to kill me.
All right.
Well, congratulations, Ellie. You won your second individual immunity. You have a great internal clock. So this was a pretty simple challenge for the jury and the viewers at home who missed it. We put out 6 cement blocks, and we told them to get it stable and step up on it. And when they felt comfortable, to raise their hand. And once everyone was comfortable, we let them know that they were going to stand on that cement block for 15 minutes and step off as soon as they felt that they were up there for 15 minutes. And the closest to 15 minutes, regardless of going over, would win immunity. And then we told them that the time started when the last person raised their hand. And then they were off, and they just had to let us know when they stepped down, and we timed them. And a couple people stepped down kind of in succession. I think it was Kat. No. It was Mary, and shortly after it was Kim. And then, a time spent passed a little, and then Kat stepped down. Now, all of y'all were, I think, in the 12-minute mark. Yeah, we were looking.
12-minute range.
And then, and then there were 3. And so, and then probably at 14 minutes and 30 seconds, I think is what we computed, Lynn stepped down. And then at 15 minutes and 2 seconds, Ellie stepped down, and Riley stepped down just after her. And Ellie won immunity because she was 2 seconds within the exact 15 minutes that was needed to win this game. So congratulations.
Yeah. Great job.
Pretty simple challenge. Your concept of time has been completely thrown off this weekend, so we wanted to test that, and that was a good way to have an endurance challenge without actually having an endurance challenge, because last night was, I think, endurance enough for a 3-day game. But yeah, was there any strategy? Let's just talk a little bit about the strategy, because I know, Ellie, what was your strategy to get that close?
Well, immediately when you said we would have to count the 15 minutes, I started counting my breaths, and then you said that it started after the last hand was raised. So then I had to assume that our intro was about 3 minutes. So then from there, I counted every single breath at about a second, and then when I got to 60, I stuck my finger out, and then I started over. And then I did it all the way until I only got to about 9.5 minutes on my count, but I knew that I was counting slower. So it was a lot of internal, this is not actually, I'm going slower than what it's going to be. And I stepped off at 17 seconds or something.
Yeah. And your hand was the one that started the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured that out after. And I was like, that felt like a pretty long intro. So I'm going to assume it was at least more than about 3 minutes.
What was anyone else's strategy? Does anyone want to talk about what they were doing to try to get close? Because, Riley, what was your thought? Did you just drop because Ellie dropped and you wanted to be the last, hoping that you'd be?
Yeah, I was counting, just 1, this is 2, keep track on my fingers. I got to 14 minutes, 40 seconds. And then when she stepped down, then I just immediately stepped down, obviously, at that point.
Because had you been accurate, you would have won, because she would have stepped down earlier than the 15.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I figured.
20 seconds off.
20 seconds.
Wow.
Well, that's still pretty darn good. So what about Mary? What were you thinking? Were you
So stupid. It's so stupid. But as soon as you said that, I was guessing intro was about 2 minutes,
Mhm.
and I started counting, and I was really hard visualizing. I don't know. Listen. I don't have any explanation for why I did this, but I count down with my microwave all the time.
Okay.
And so I was visualizing my microwave and counting in the time that I'm used to that being, and again, the counting to 60 and then holding finger and and I got to where I felt and I worried that I was fast,
Mm-hmm.
but I also at that point was I am going to do this off from my best estimate of time and not other people's best estimate of time. So like, I really didn't want to be the first person stepping down. But when I got to where as close as I could get my estimate, I was like, okay, like
This is it.
I've done this in my head. Like, let's follow through. And it was just way early.
Mhm. And Kim, you were very shortly after. Was it in reaction to Mary,
No.
or were you counting too?
I was doing my knees, like I was walking.
Okay.
But it also kept me from, as I was weak, I was like wobbly and everything. So
Yeah.
it's like I need to keep me from falling.
For balance. Yeah.
So I was walking and I was counting, and I assumed a lot less time on the thing. And I will admit, at one point in it, I lost concentration. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I was like, okay, I think I'm here. And so I kept, and then I just kept walking.
Mhm.
I thought I was doing a good pace with my walk.
Now, Kat, you were next. Did you think, whoa, they're too early? And just, or were you just in your own zone?
I thought they were way too early.
Mhm.
But I knew I had the same problem. I was using my feet to count for a while, and then I lost track of time. And then I was like, I'll pick it up back here. I think I'm close. And then I lost track of time again.
Mhm.
And then I was like, I know there was an intro. I had the same idea that it was like a 1 or 2 minute intro because I had no idea when she put her hand up. I was just completely blind to that. I was not paying attention. And so I just went when I thought that I was.
Okay. Okay. And then Lynn, what
My strategy was the one thing, and then I was using kind of my fingers just so I don't lose track of how many minutes were passed. And every time I reached 5 on my left side, I put one finger up for my right just to make sure I don't lose track of that. I estimated the intro. I did see kind of when Ellie put her hand up, but I didn't know that was the start.
obviously,
So
yeah.
I tried to go back and I was like, I feel like that intro was like a minute and 30 seconds
Mhm.
from when she put her hand up, not when they started talking.
Yeah.
I did that. I'm not gonna lie, the first couple people that went down, that threw me off greatly because I was like, I'm either counting very slow and they're on it, or we just have different estimates of what that intro would be.
Mhm.
So to think positively, I summed it up to the second thing, and by the time that I reached 14 minutes and 30 seconds in my head, that's when I decided to step down. I was like, okay, I might be wrong by 30 seconds, but I'd rather be a little under than over. And that was, I got 14 minutes.
Yeah, you were
Right, so-
close. I mean, you're
So it all
It-
sounds like you like followed your own rather than react off of what someone else did.
and really it was about measuring like, oh, when was that intro?
Yeah.
And then kind of going from there. Okay.
How long was the intro? Do you have that?
No,
just-
we just
we
when
just
we saw the last
So,
hand go up,
uh,
Joe hit the button, and then we just kept. Then we explained the rules to you because we just said get comfortable, and everybody put a hand up, and then we explained the rules. And I mean, I didn't even see when the moment that we were like it started from the last hand. I'm not sure exactly how long that was. We didn't time it. We just knew right when Ellie put it up, we hit start. So, so yeah, I did a very similar challenge to this in a mole game that I played, except we were locked in a room, and they were like, "You open that door at 30 minutes, and for every minute we were off, and if we did it at 30 minutes, we'd get like $50 because the mole is like you put money into a pot, and for any minute we were off, we would lose $5 from. And so I was like, oh, I can adapt this, I think, into a survivor challenge, and then especially near the end here, where again concept of time I thought would be tough, so but good
because
job.
I've been here for 3 months now.
Yeah, exactly. Because my concept of time is also gone. So Ellie, you won. And let's go back to the last tribal council where Jay was eliminated.
There was a
lot of scrambling. That was
scramble.
we rarely see a scramble during tribal council. Was there anything that changed, flipped? Because it sounded like Jay had the writing on the wall, but then scrambling happened. So was it for show, or was there actual conversations that things might change? What about you, Lynn?
So I kind of gave my opinion on it last time.
Uh-huh.
I do know that after everything was done, including the tribal, we went and we had like a group conversation. People went in and out of the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
There were other individuals on the tribe that were telling me that they had a different perspective on it, and they felt like they were truly scrambling.
Uh-huh.
So I can understand their perspective if they felt like they were truly scrambling. For me personally, I didn't feel like it was like that because when people were approaching me with names, I guess I could kind of feel where they were like leaning towards, but I feel like maybe they were keeping it from me because like I'm related to him.
Mm-hmm.
So based off of that, to me, I was like, I don't really feel like it's scrambling. But I mean, people were definitely having conversations and running around. That's not, you know what I mean? They weren't just like lying about that. But
So maybe with
I guess-
you, they were being a little bit more hesitant.
yeah, I think it was just the vibe that I was feeling.
Mhm.
That's what I was feeling. Because I think I kind of knew. I think deep down I knew like nobody would let him get to the final three, right? Including myself, I was not letting him get to the final three. So it's like if I just told that about him, I was assuming everybody else would as well, and that's why maybe they thought I wasn't capable of thinking it as well, and maybe that's why they wanted to kind of hide that from me. There were people that were definitely very truthful about voting for him. Like they told me straight up, I'm voting for him.
So you say you didn't want him to get to the final three, but is that time you wanted him to go out?
So here's the thing. I knew going in that I would have a target on my back because I was going in with Jay. And not only is, you know, he my brother, just somebody simply related to me. I know that he knows a lot of people here and they know how he plays and they consider him like a threat in their own way. So maybe they would think, okay, like she's just going to be like an extra vote to him, or he's going to be able to manipulate her, or she's just going to go with whatever he wants, or any of that type of stuff, right? And so we need to get her out so we can't use her. I understand that is a strategy. I think that had it been somebody else, I probably would have thought the same thing about them, and I maybe would have picked up the same thing. I am here to play my own game though, and I have my own strategy. And to me, I was thinking if everyone's going to be thinking that, I could go around to people, tell them I'm just using him as a shield to pin a lot of stuff onto him, keep him long enough where he can get out, and I can feel comfortable with the alliances that I feel. But this entire time, he's been made to look like the puppet master in his own way. And so I felt comfortable having certain conversations, maybe trying to play a little bit riskier, playing in ways that I never have before, trying to look for things that I haven't before. So to me, him being in the game up until this point, maybe even like around, like right now, would have been around the time, right?
Okay.
The difference was only one round, but to me, I needed him to be that shield for a while.
I see.
So I can make certain alliances with people that I really needed.
So with that shield gone, if you think, do you feel vulnerable?
Yeah, I think everybody here feels vulnerable to, I mean, except Ellie, to
Uh-huh.
a certain degree.
Yeah.
To a certain degree. But I think it comes to the point where you can only have so many conversations, and you just have to trust the people that you're working with. You have to trust the genuine conversations that you're having, and you just have to hope that it works. But I definitely feel vulnerable.
Would anyone agree besides Ellie that they feel vulnerable right now? No one feels safe. Okay. All right. And so what was the kind of biggest takeaway after Jay left? And you said that there was some talking over here and then y'all went back to camp. What happened? Was there more scrambling? What went on?
Oh, there's all kinds of different kinds of scrambling.
Tell us more, Mary.
Okay, get ready for waterworks. So during the feast or during the auction, what I got did have a clue in it. And
This was the guacamole and margaritas
and chips, yeah.
and chips.
So it did have a clue in it. And so with that clue, I had been looking for the idol. And right when we were having to come up for tribal the last time, I realized where it was. And so I got rid of the marker that had been there to find where it was. But I mean, I had like, and so like it wasn't enough time for me to find it, but I knew a very narrow area where it was. And Lynn had been like really like sticking to me already, which was at the time, like interesting. I couldn't exactly figure out why all of a sudden when she hadn't been sticking to me previously to that. But I was like, well, it's pretty obvious I'm idle hunting. Like that makes sense that somebody would be staying close because either, maybe they'll find it if I know something or they'll see me get it and, information's valuable. Um, so, so I kicked away the marker. And so after the last tribal council, I went to the bathroom, and when I came out, I was really surprised because a couple people were already gone. And I was like, oh, kind of like going down, moseying down, like mostly as a group, like for the last little while. And so then immediately I was like, oh crap, like, are they like, is somebody down there? So as soon as I headed on the trail, I could see Lynn over in that area. And I had purposely tried to like draw her over to other areas to like not like signal like, hey, I know it's here. So I purposely tried to draw her to other areas. And I'm like, how the hell is she right back in the right spot?
Mhm.
And so I go down there, and again, like, I'm really actively looking, trying to find it. But at the same time, I'm also seeing her look some other places. And so I'm like, okay, so like she doesn't really know like exactly where it is. I should have just gone with my gut instinct. And so what happened was when I stepped away from the tree that I knew that it was at, Lynn jumped in and moved something farther than I had and grabbed it. And that was pretty devastating. I have since learned that she has had a clue since the merge feast, but couldn't figure it out. Needed me to figure it out. And then once she realized I had figured it out, and so, and again, like information, is valuable. And so, like, it makes sense now. But I was like, I would have done that very differently had I known that. And like, and of course, in hindsight, I'm like, I should have just like gone all out, in the area that I knew that it was. But in my mind, I was still the safest way from getting food before me was to not focus there. So it is very much me tonight. It is very well known that Lynn has the idol. After I announced it, she very graciously made sure everyone knew. I'm gonna play my shot in the dark. Who knows what's gonna happen? But it's that's this game. And like, yeah, it's devastating and hard. And like in hindsight, there's all these things that you're like, would have, could have.
How do you think? I mean, and Lynn can answer this too. But you said Lynn was following you after some point. Did she see the clue? Did you think she saw you?
She did not, but I'm pretty certain it was Jay saw it. It could have been right. Either one of them were very likely because I was very much surrounded. They knew that I had something. I was hoping that by dumping my margarita on Kat, it would be enough of a distraction to like really work. There's a couple different points. I mean, I definitely was like trying to look, but I mean, you got people trying to sides of you. I mean, it was.
Did he? I assume everyone has checked their meal too for that reason.
I'm not here right up.
Yeah, I want to hear your side on that. I'm not going to assume anything except you.
So from what Ellie and I were walking down, as we were everybody in that field, and I remember saying they're already there, and like or they have proof for this item. I'm giving her the search people together.
This is
We went out and he wanted to take me kind of after just to kind of like during no, we went down to, I went to the site, here's what I'm looking for it. I got married, get the idol, so I was just like a fake
Mhm.
who gave me it, and I actually don't know what I got. I don't know if it was the same idol or
Loud. What are you thinking?
I mean, it definitely, we had to take it into account. I mean, it changed it for some and others it didn't, so
Okay.
we had to scramble to try to figure something out at the last minute of whether it was gonna matter or not, so.
So scrambling still happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness. Scrambling was happening so much after that. So.
Riley, what
Blindsiding us.
what were your thoughts on the thing? Were you also part of the scrambling?
Yeah, I think, if you're not part of the scrambling, then I think you're on the ground. But,
Mhm.
yeah, I think talking with either Kim or Kat when she found the idol, and I was just like, whoa, okay.
I mean, she waved it.
Yeah, I
She's
know,
like,
but
"Ah, I
yeah,
got
so
the idol."
it definitely changes things for sure. Maybe complicates even numbered votes are always tough, and you throw another piece of information in there, and it's just another variable that makes it even tougher here at the final six. So, yeah, I think even on the way up here, people were still looking at each other doe-eyed, trying to figure it out.
Had there been no idle in play in this situation, would things be different at this vote?
I don't. It's hard to say, but I
What,
think
Kat? What are you thinking?
I have no idea because
Yeah.
we've changed the plan so many
Mhm.
times. So I
That
have
idle
no
went,
idea.
and it was like, oh well, start over.
The start over has been too many times.
Is this start over? I mean, I'm asking just based on the. Is this a Kat Kim start over,
No,
or is this
no.
a everybody start
It
over?
was-
You're just
it was
agreeing.
we all saw it and we all knew. Okay, now we don't know because we'd heard.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody. Because we'd
Got
heard names and we'd heard this, and I mean, I'm not going to say lie. I mean, we heard your name, and then we're like, well, here we go. Now that's a thing. So we were all over the place, like just running, and it was not. It was everybody.
I'm not even
And it
sure
was-
if alliances exist right now.
So
Interesting.
are you just trying to hide in very few numbers left? If alliances don't
Yeah.
exist and you don't have a trust circle, and
You're just trying to
Just trying to.
negotiate your way to the next, and negotiate your way like more transactional than
Mm.
trust.
I think it's so difficult to chime in, but especially today is so different tempo wise than the previous
Yes.
3 days.
Hmm.
We'd have 4 hours plus between tribals or between multiple hours. Here it's tribal challenge in 15 minutes, 30 minutes to talk, and then we've got tribal, and then like you give us this wonderful fishing gear, we can't use it. 0 time.
We have not.
So there's not that opportunity to really digest, process, and really formulate. Oh yeah, we've got a final 3, final 4, because someone's getting eliminated every 60 minutes. So it's a little bit tougher, I think, to feel as secure in those alliances
Yeah.
or trust circles as it was maybe previously in the game.
Does that make the immunity necklace more valuable? Ellie, do you feel that way?
I always feel the immunity necklace is invaluable. So
So even with it around your neck, you still had to be part of the scrambling?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
any discussion. I mean, I have a vote, and that's the power in this game. In addition to the necklace, like that's really what sends people home. So
Mhm. Yep. Somebody said something about an even vote. I think it was Riley. I guess that when it's an even vote, there's a fear of a tie. Is that what you were inferring?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
I think it's also just it's odd to think about doing math on votes when there's an even number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Even numbers are tough.
Even numbers are tough.
especially if there's only 2 names floating around, it's like, okay, where's everybody's heads at?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which just happened a lot at 8 and 10 and
Yep.
so on and so forth.
How else do you navigate a final 6?
You scramble. You discuss. You talk to the people you trust, and then figure out a plan.
This is the last tribal council that the shot in the dark can be used. Still have 2 more times that an idol can be used. There could be other advantages in play. Does anyone think an advantage will be used at this tribal council?
Mary said she was playing it, right? Yeah.
She did say that. Yes.
Does that change your math?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Or anything else you're worried about?
Okay.
All right. Well, again, you're a tribal. Anything anyone needs to say or ask a question or talk to each other about before we start the voting? Y'all ready to vote? All right.
Okay.
Well, Katie's going to get
Let's do
ready.
it.
She'll get this off. There.
Yeah. Ten viewers.
And viewers. and one live viewer.
Plus one life viewer, yeah.
Oh no, there's a bunch of people live. I'm chatting with them.
Oh, nice.
That are not on production.
But yeah, but you are physically here, and then the rest are virtual.
Also on the stream too.
Nice.
But I'm chatting with everybody. But we've been chatting all weekend. Hey, Patrick. I'll ask you a question.
Justin, it's on the other side of the bench. All right.
Thank you.
Ellie, you're going to be up first.
Because Katie walked out. Yeah.
The jury's got a lot to discuss. We have 10 jury members at this point.
We're going to have 13.
We're about to have our 11th, and then by the end of the night, we will have 13.
Big jury. Lots of questions to be asked.
I'll remain.
Rule clarification?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Kim, you can go ahead and go.
Right. So
All right, Kat.
I just had a brain fart. It's fine.
You know.
Ready?
No, we're on. Oh,
Oh, I'll tell you.
I'm not going to make sure.
You told them that you eat them?
Oh, yeah, I wonder if they know.
They know. I think you do.
Okay.
Riley. He just he did very quiet. He brought. Yes, I mean, not everyone will be all comfy cozy, but they'll be more comfortable than down. Maybe. I don't know.
Then that'll be a fun spot.
That's true.
We can. Yeah. She's so hard with her eyes.
You don't need your judgment.
Just be beautiful. All right, Mary. Her animal. Another one. Yeah, that's one out.
Yeah.
Discuss
Yeah.
logistics, but or fairness here. They paid. But
I-
So we.
And it really. Drying them off. Because they were wet, so they keep flipping.
Oh, no, I'm actually making the pattern. That's what it is.
Oh, there you go.
The trick is, you have to pack this up.
it was that challenge. It was the challenge. Okay.
Copy.
So 8 o'clock. We said we'll break everything down. Hold everything up.
Let me know when you're ready, Katie.
Okay. Yeah, you can go, Lynn.
Along. Yeah, it's my favorite.
You walked this back down that. I was like, oh, I like this. So,
Yeah, it's my favorite. But like,
really after this one.
Because it doesn't
You win.
stand up for you.
To Justin wins about.
it depends on if you keep those torches lit.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go tally the votes.
Yes, we had like 2 apples, pear, tons, like tons. Spam. It's some spam. You like the spam? Oh, no. The gelatinous goo. We like to call it spam with coconut. Oh, Patrick, he said that was the exact food that he got. Patrick. Spam. But yeah, there's absolutely. Wash my hands, so I knew it was going to miss it. But I was just trying to because I didn't. But I guess. Yeah. Now this, yeah. Yeah, use the daily stuff. Are you not seeing? Your glasses.
Oh.
Right. Right. Take it from mine were, it was stigmatism. Yeah. Flip the stigmatism.
Yeah, but
I mean, you need to put there. No, it took me like everything here. Also, the business. Yeah, but it was one of them. I had right one. Just kind of say when we're on. Like also, but it's like we need to take them off.
Once we read the votes, the decision is final. The person eliminated will ask to leave the tribal council area immediately.
But-
Before we read the votes, are there any advantages or idols that anyone wishes to do so? What you got, Mary?
All that really interesting thing is he said I really thought she was going to
again. Okay, so Mary has played her shot in the dark. If this scroll says safe, then any votes cast against Mary will not count. Mary, you are not safe. Any votes cast for Mary will count.
Are there any other advantages or idols? Okay.
All right, we'll read the votes. First vote, Mary.
Second vote, Lynn.
Third vote, Mary. That's 2 votes, Mary. 1 vote, Lynn.
Fourth vote, Mary. 3 votes, Mary. 1 vote, Lynn.
1 vote left. 11th person on the jury of Survivor All Stars is Mary. That's 4. That's enough.
Please bring us a torch.
Mary, the tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
It's been an honor playing with all of you.
All right, y'all can head up to the front door. Jury, you can follow her. All right, final 5. We actually are sending you back to camp.
Oh my God, thank you.
We've got to set up. We're going to actually give you. Oh, yes. So we would like you to help us out. So we're going to give you an hour. We'd like you to pass up the.
Like, I don't know.
There's get it
Get it in.
get it down. There is a bag that they both can, plus the cots. If you can, and ask for help, but if you can, get the tent in a bag, get the cot in the bag, and fit everything else in a cooler, that would save us so much time.
Everything else.
Well, if trash,
Oh,
anything.
okay. Where do we leave our sleeping bag?
You can put it in the cooler. Appreciate it.